Today is day three, so this is the first time I've been on Instagram Live, and we are live on Facebook too, so I haven't done split devices before, so here we go. Today we are focusing on overthinking, and first and foremost, just to give you a little context, if this is your first time here, we are interrupting our patterns for 21 days. So today's day 3. And as we are interrupting our patterns, we're getting in between what we usually do and preparing our system for surprises, preparing our system for changes, preparing our system for things to be different. Because so many times our systems are hardwired for consistency, for routine, for the same thing over and over again. And so when something new happens, when something changes, when something's different in our life, it actually can create more chaos, and it won't be sustainable because our system has not prepared for it. It has not processed change. And so in this 21 days of change, we're just interrupting our day, interrupting the first part of our day. Maybe you wake up first thing and you come and you sit in here, or you wake up first thing and you stand on one foot, or interrupting your patterns for 21 days. Now, if the topic is overthinking today, and it's ironic because as I was starting to do this, I felt my pattern of overthinking. How can I help them through overthinking if I also struggle with overthinking? And something that came to me was, if you look at things that have been overprocessed, things that have been overlooked at, overexposed, you can see, like, if you overprocess hair coloring, which my hair is not colored, but I know that if you overprocess coloring your hair, it becomes dry, it becomes brittle, it becomes weak, it becomes discolored. Same thing with, like, when you're canning your vegetables. If you overprocess canning vegetables, you suck out all the nutrients, you suck out all the life, all the color, the texture, the shape. It becomes mushy, it becomes lifeless. If you overprocess photos, they become unnatural looking. They start to look unreal. So when we're thinking about overthinking, and we start to recognize how much we're overthinking every single aspect of our life, we can't take a step forward because we're so busy processing the steps that we've taken, and all the tiny details of each step. And if you're like this, like I am, like you're looking at the details, you're just very aware. You're a very aware individual, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just sometimes this overthinking and this being so aware can create a sticky mind layer. And I hope that by doing these, we can interrupt that. And so when you get in a cycle of overthinking, and maybe you don't even recognize when you're in a cycle of overthinking, you have been contemplating this same choice over and over and over again, and maybe you start to feel anxious. You know what it feels like whenever you are overthinking. There's a certain set of feelings that you feel, there's a certain set of emotions that you feel, there's a certain set of things that you feel. And what you can do when you start to notice these is interrupt the pattern. So as you start to overthink, and we talked about anchoring in day 1, is making sure that you have your anchor. We talked about anchoring into the Creator, anchoring into the Weaver, anchoring into God, universal intelligence, Brahman, whatever that might be for you. We talked about making sure that you have your anchor, that intelligence that is so much stronger. And when it comes to overthinking and you need to interrupt the pattern, the thing that you can do is say, I'm overthinking. Can I put this in your hand? And it goes back up to that hot air balloon, taking all of those worries and all of those things that you're thinking about and all of those decisions that you're trying to make the right choice in, and all of those things that you really, really care about, that you just want to do a good job. you can take those things, you can put them up in this little hot air balloon, and you can pass them on to the Creator. And guess what? It will be taken care of. And it might not be taken care of in the way that you think, but again, it's going back to the reason that we're interrupting this is because when change does start to happen, when your life starts to change, your nervous system has to be ready for that. And so that's why we're interrupting these patterns. And so if you're somebody who gets stuck in this overthinking layer of your mind, interrupting it and just saying, hey, look, I'm here, I'm overthinking, I'm looking at every tiny little detail, I've got to give it to you. And you'll probably have to do this multiple times. You'll probably have to do it over and over and over again of just, I'm overthinking, release it. I'm overthinking, interrupt the pattern. That could be, if you are starting to overthink, do jumping jacks. And I know it's really, really hard to see when you're starting to spiral into that unthinking or overthinking, when you're starting to spiral into looking at every detail, because most of the time what we're overthinking about are the things that we care about most. And so if we could just recognize that we can put the things that we care about most into the intelligence that's going before us and just saying, look, I'm worried about this, I'm going to have to give it to you. And recognizing that there is going to be shifts happening just because you let it go, because you are no longer thinking about it being right, being perfect, being good, being helpful, being of service, being aligned with your purpose, being aligned with you. You will start to see like, you know what, no, I just care about this. And because the Creator cares about me, it cares about it too. And I can pass that up in this hot air balloon and know that it's going to be taken care of. So this was our little 5 minutes of interruption, and I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. The topic is going to be safety, and I was given that one yesterday ahead of time, so we are going to be talking about safety. And again, as always, let me know if you have any specific requests, if you have any specific things that come up from this. Let me know. You can DM, you can comment, doesn't matter. But I look forward to seeing you tomorrow morning to interrupt your day, and let's see if I can get off of all of these things. It was over 5 minutes, but it's all good. It was just like 7 minutes. Okay, ending on Facebook. I'm my own tech girl, y'all.